I don't have access to game film, so we're going to be old-fashioned and do a bit of a slideshow and pretend it's a film study. I'm going to break down, I think, 4 plays, 3 bad, 1 good, and talk about how it represents some of the things I've talked about, some of the things the coaches have talked about, and why it's fixable, why it should work out, why some of it worked every other time but one. And before we get to that, I am Forrest Poston. After we get to that, I'll still be Forrest Poston. Anybody want the job? No. All right. And this is WVU Football Going Deep because I gave it that name. And I would appreciate if you share, subscribe, comment, click the thumbs up button, click the notification bell, and tell your friends. And I think I'm about 75 or so subscribers away from the semi-mystical, magical 500 subscribers. I think I'd get there faster if West Virginia had won more of the games, but hey, help me out anyway. Now, I'm going to take a look at the good one first. I like it best. It's a nice pressure that maintains the quarterback containment and then results in a sack. And if you look, we've got early pressure coming up the middle. I think that's Nate Gabriel, one of the youngsters. And yeah, he looks good in this. He looks real good. And then we have Hammond Russell on a stunt going really wide left, looping around. It's a kind of a stunt that almost makes you feel like you're probably wasting your time, which might be why some players end up not looping wide enough. They come curling in early, which opens up room for the quarterback. And if you watch, Russell loops around. He's got plenty of time to get where he's going. Gabriel comes in with that pressure. If you don't get pressure, you've at least got the left side sealed. With Gabriel's pressure, forcing Holstein to try to make an escape, there's Russell waiting for him. So, just sends him out on a run and into the arms of the waiting looper. That's how it should work. I didn't look to the other side to see how, if Holstein, of course, Holstein couldn't really run that way easily because Gabriel did have that side covered. That is how the defense works. This defense uses a lot of stunts, a lot of pressure from a 4th man, sometimes 5, but the stunts are really critical. It's an active line, and it's why they get good pressure. The difference is containment or no containment. If Russell doesn't loop wide enough, Holstein escapes to that side, either goes running downfield or has time to find a receiver, which happened more than once. Now, missed sacks. As he just showed a sack, got 5 sacks on Holstein, should have had somewhere between 7 and 10. And this one you can see it's Bradley who comes looping around on a blitz or a pressure, if he's the 4th man, and the center opens wide for him. He has a clean, clear shot at Holstein, Holstein just takes a slight step to the side, and Bradley essentially whiffs. Gets a hand kind of on him, not enough to disturb him. And yes, the quarterback is supposed to be able to get out of the way, if you're taking it from the quarterback's perspective. But a blitzer has to be able to, you got to expect it. You got to accommodate it. You got to get hands on the quarterback, or at least try to swat the ball. If Bradley had even gone for the arm, might have forced a fumble, which can be better than a sack. Didn't do it, whiffed. We get plenty of time then for a pass. Now on the next one. All right, 2nd and 30. A lot of reasons why it should have been 2nd and 40. Narduzzi complained that they had to beat the officials. Neil Brown called it BS. He's right. The film I've looked at, the officials missed call after call after call against Pitt. I was going to do one that showed 2 separate holds on one play, both in the open, not all tied up in the center of the line where it's hard to see. Neither got called. Pitt completed a 10-yard pass. Yeah, Narduzzi. Meanwhile, 2nd and 30. Of course, we focus mostly on the catch. A lot of things went wrong there that shouldn't have, but the pass should never have happened. Had a great call. If you watch, Burks comes on the blitz. We have French on a loop, a stunt, going wide all the way around from the left to the right. Sean Martin, I assume that he was also supposed to stunt opposite direction from French. And I don't know if Martin took a bad angle or if it was just the timing got screwed up somehow. I'm not sure. But Burks is blitzing, and it starts with a wide open lane straight to the quarterback. Enough to the side that the quarterback might not notice Burks coming in time. But rather than going upfield, Martin takes a very shallow cut to his left coming across the field. Ends up directly in front of Burks. Burks runs into Martin. And by the time he can get free, the pass is gone. At the very least, Burks would have forced Holstein out of the pocket, where one of the stunting linemen might have had a shot at him, or Burks gets the sack. The pass never happens. Burks and Martin are 2 of the most experienced players on the team. I don't know what went wrong. I don't know why it went wrong, but it went wrong. Now, my understanding is they used that same defensive set earlier in the game and other times. It worked perfectly. Something screwed up at a bad time. Maybe we credit the Pitt lineman with doing the right thing at the right time. I don't know. Maybe he is why Martin was in that particular spot and time. Maybe Burks just saw that straight line to the quarterback and neglected to adjust for Martin. I don't know. But it very easily and should have been a big play for West Virginia. Most importantly, I suppose, don't blame Leslie for the defensive call. The call was right. The execution went sour. And speaking of that, next to last West Virginia drive, when they're trying to run out the clock, and people are complaining, hey, they say Brown runs too vanilla, but if you look at the play, again, first of all, it was a pitch wide to Donaldson. We're not running up the middle. We're running an odd play, a very well-designed play. We've got two receivers to the right, and Taylor pulling right, moving right as lead blocker. Now, of course, so we've got a couple of defensive players already over there to cover the receivers. Those two receivers at the snap come back towards the center. It's fuzzy. We never get a good shot. I don't know who the receivers were. But we've got the one who's sort of to the top outside. I don't know if he was supposed to block, supposed to chip the defensive back. He just kind of slides by him like he's headed on downfield to block somebody else. The other receiver, inside receiver, definitely had that block, and it was the key block. Now, with Taylor coming around as lead blocker, he picks up the other defender, the one the first receiver went past. So that seals that guy to the outside. If the receiver slows the defender down one step, two steps, Donaldson is clear. There's a lane. The next man coming across can't get to Donaldson until Donaldson is at least 5 yards downfield. And if he gets past him, it's 10 or more. It was a very well-designed play. It was the call. I didn't like it at first because I know how risky a pitch could be. And West Virginia doesn't pitch a lot, so you worry about them really not being in sync. It was perfect. They made a nice pitch and catch. And Donaldson heads upfield. Nothing there because the receiver did nothing really to affect the defender. Hardly had, barely a sidestep. That block. And again, the play works. Maybe a first down. You run considerable time off the clock, and you maintain momentum. So again, don't blame Coach Brown for the play call. It was a good call. The opportunity was there. There was one critical mistake. The block that had to be made wasn't even a bad block. It was no block at all. And again, as he said, that's a block that really should be made 10 out of 10 times. Why the receiver missed it, I don't know. Okay. Really could cover a lot more of the plays. There were various critical plays, a lot of demonstrations of good sacks or bad containment. If you do like this type of video, let me know, and I'll consider doing more in the future. If you don't like it, let me know. But it is kind of a look at what happened, what could have happened. But it also means that as bad as things were, man, it was close. Couple of things here and there, and West Virginia wins by 14 or 17, something like that. Didn't happen that way, but the team is good enough to learn from this, and then it can happen that way. We'll just have to see. I believe they can do it. I believe they will do it. They just have to actually do it. All right, got another video in mind. Want to talk a bit about why I still believe in this team, why I still believe in the coaches, and why I think they're doing the right thing, why it annoys me that so many people are complaining so much and really just don't seem to understand what's happening. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for anybody who dropping in. Please share, subscribe, and tell your friends, all those things. And I'll talk to you. Oh, I do have the keys and questions video coming up Thursday or Friday. And, of course, the live post-game show as soon after the show as I can get online, which probably means as soon as I get back from the bathroom. So long.